What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce this week. He's back, and it's good to
Back,
have you back, mate. That to
back
see
in
my
action.
ugly mug for 55 minutes or whatever the hell it was
I
last
know they
week.
would had you up on the big screen on the big layout, the massive layout.
Yeah, no, I actually had it on because we created a custom one. So I had it on one of these ones here. So it was like we could still see the background, so I didn't take up
Oh,
the whole
okay.
entire
I was gonna
thing.
say, geez,
It looked a bit more professional than I think we could see all our handles down below, and yeah, it was professional, mate. But it's good to have you back.
as we always
Uh,
are here at Double Coverage, ladies and gentlemen, as you know.
Chris is on Instagram. He says he's back. The great man. Yeah, you are back, mate. So yeah,
Back,
well,
back with a
it's not, it's
vengeance.
not it's not double coverage unless it's both of us. To be honest, it's just mate. Like we keep saying, the streak's still alive. You weren't here, but we still put a pot out, and we're
The
still
show
being here
must go on, mate. Show
every
must
week.
go on.
We've been here. We've been
I
here.
probably could have jumped on. I'll be honest with you, because I did have my tablet over there. I probably could have just jumped on with the tablet, but that's all right. We'll make it work. I've done it before
Yeah, you've
when I
done
was
all sorts of
overseas.
stuff, mate. So yeah, don't stress. Well, we're good to go. There's been a bit that's happened. Obviously, NBA finals are finished, so we'll get into that in a second. AFL is just plugging along. The Euros have started, so we'll talk about the Euros a bit. F1, there's a race this week. UFC, I'll be able to throw to you this week and not me have to run it. And then hobby talk, very brief in the hobby talk. There isn't too much happening, but on Instagram at the moment, Pull Wax and Shine are live, mate. I think Shine's got Kenny G in his live. So make of it what you will. King of Collectibles season 2 out.
Season
So
2, yeah. I still haven't
season
watched
2.
season 1, bud.
It was good. No, honestly, the production was really, really good. Season 2, um, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure it'll be good value as well.
Do you reckon Kenny's had a bit of Botox done to him or what? He looks quite taut in that forehead, yeah, bit Sammy Newman esque,
Well, he's
when he
got a
used to get
nine-figure bank account source, so with
why not?
well, and he lives on a golf course, so it wouldn't surprise me. And he did have a lot of stress, thinking that his whole business was going to be unraveled because of old Juanito. So it wouldn't surprise me that he got a few stress lines on the forehead that he had to fix them up. So I think everything's all good for him, and he's got court cases and stuff dealing with certain cards. And anyway, he's back. He's and good to see Lauren Golden, whatever. She made an appearance. She hasn't been anywhere until season 2 premiered, and all of a sudden she's just posting thirst pics as per usual. Anyway, let's get started with the NBA. And I was close, Sauce. I said Boston in 6, but it was Boston in 5. And I said on the show last week, we had a chat, and we pretty much said the series was finished. So good to see we weren't wrong based off of last week's show. We said it was done. They got one win, Dallas. They blew out Boston, but let's be honest, like you don't want to be winning on the opposition's floor. You want to win on your home deck. So they would
Yeah,
have just tanked that game, rested all the guys, and then just they did what they did in Game 5, and they get the job done. And Jason Tatum's a world champion, and Jalen Brown's a champ and MVP, and they win Boston's 18th chip. So your thoughts?
no, congratulations, Boston. I mean, I didn't think they would get it done. I thought maybe the West would be too strong, but obviously I was incorrect. I think maybe Mavs was probably the perfect matchup for them. And let's be honest, maybe it was a different side, or was it maybe a bit more of a contest. But Boston were the best team all season, especially in the East. So that out there for sure, and they're the best team regardless because they won the whole thing. And you see some people saying that they only got this far because Halliburton got injured and this and that. Well, mate, there's that many championships where you could say that same thing that because that person got injured or this person got injured, that's the only reason they won. That's the whole part of the game, right? It's one of the most difficult parts is staying healthy to the very end. So it is the survival of the fittest, and they were definitely the fittest in that point. I mean, they got Porzingis back. He'd done just what he needed to do, and in those games, coming off the bench, and he was pivotal, especially in games 1 and 2. So, yeah, no, congratulations, Boston Celtics, and obviously Tatum and Jaylen Brown getting their first chip. It's always good, it's good to see that they stuck with those guys. So many times they wanted to trade Brown or I think they were always going to keep Tatum, but it was always Brown on the trading block and making moves. And I think the piece that really probably, as much as people want to say Porzingis was the piece that they needed, I feel like Drew Holiday was the piece that underrated. I mean, you have a look in that series, how he guarded Kyrie and just absolutely blanketed him. Was unbelievable, right? So I will say this: I'm still a little bit confused by the Bucks and why they got rid of him for Damian Lillard. I feel like they probably, they could have still stuck with him and then found the other pieces that they needed. But Boston, took him straight away, and he's back. He's 2-time champion now, right? So
Yeah.
it probably doesn't get enough credit. I think in certain aspects of his game, and there was a few games where he played very good offensively as well. So, Boston Celtics are champs, and we come back next season and we do it all again. And let's see what the trade, how all the trades pan out. Does certain guys sign with their franchise again? There was a few that have signed on. I think Malik Monk signed on a 4-year deal with.
Yeah, saw that. Yeah.
Giddy got traded to the Bulls or Caruso. So moves are already happening. So it's going to be a big off season, and we'll be back talking about it. What the season usually starts around November, start of November,
October. I'm pretty sure. September's preseason usually.
So, mate, before we know
They'll
it,
be
3 months
back.
we'll be talking about it.
Mate, the Premier League's back in 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, it's
So-
ridiculous. The turnaround, like, people will be so distracted watching the Olympics. Once the Olympics are done, we're going to have EPL back on the cards. And then a month later, we're going to have basketball back on the cards, and NFL comes back. So, it chugs along. It's a well-oiled machine.
Live it, love it, breathe it. All sports
time.
double coverage. We got
And
you.
the other exactly right. So yeah, well said with the Celtics, mate. They got the job done because they were the better team. And like you said, health is a major part, and you need luck in sport, mate. You need luck, especially in basketball in the playoffs. It's so grueling when you're playing a best of series, best of 7 series. The chances of you getting injured are so high playing extra games. You're playing over 100 games in the season at that stage if you're playing postseason basketball. So, like you said, the fact that they got Porzingis back when everyone else's stars were getting injured, it just helped them. And that's what hurt Dallas in the end. Luka the Don walked into game 1 with a thoracic injury on his chest, a knee injury, and an ankle injury. And he's the best player, and he's the difference maker for the Dallas Mavericks, So your superstar's injured, and he's going to have to carry the load of the team. And as we said, after Kyrie Irving, the drop-off in talent is massive. And the first 2 games, no one scored more than 16 points source as a second option in the first 2 games for Dallas. It wasn't until game 3 when Kyrie put over 20. So you didn't have the help. The pieces are there, though. They can build around that, and Mark Cuban can go do what he's got to do, and they'll bounce back. They got Luka the Don. Like, he's the perfect piece to build a team around. It's pretty obvious, and like you can see that now. The other thing, too, just other news. We mentioned on this show a couple of weeks ago. Like, I made a joke about the Lakers and JJ Redick as the coach. We all knew that was going to happen. That's not the reason why I'm laughing. The part I'm laughing about the most is the fact that I saw a report today from all like ESPN, Bleacher, everyone saying that LeBron had no say in JJ Redick becoming head coach of the LA Lakers. The guy he does a podcast with him. Shut the hell up. and apparently had no idea that JJ Redick wanted to make AD the main guy in the team, and LeBron is going to play off ball next season. And mate, how many times have we heard that he was playing off ball with Frank Vogel, with Darvin Ham, with all of them? And then when you lose 15 games in a row, then they say, well, maybe we should just give the ball to him so we can actually win games. So that's very funny.
Yeah,
At least you got a new coach, mate. So, and also welcome to Magda and James in the chat, Chris on Instagram, and Julio as well on Instagram. That's it for basketball. It's done and dusted for a few months. So that's another sport off the show. So
we might cover a little bit of basketball when it comes to the
trades.
A little bit of Olympics basketball when it pops up. Even though it's going to be an absolute whitewash by the Americans, they'll slap everyone.
James says JJ Redick goes from coaching his son's team to the Lakers. Very funny. All right, let's move on to the AFL because that's still chugging along. And we had round 14. Friday night, the Lions beat the Saints by 20, 126 to 106. Saturday, the Dogs defeated the Dockers by 67. They're just so up and down, the Dockers, the Dogs. It's ridiculous. Richmond lose to the Hawks in Dusty's 300th game. They get belted by 48. And I've heard, Source, by people that were at the game, and obviously the interview at the end of the game. So he did this interview at the end of the game. I'm not sure if he caught it, but it sounded like it was a farewell. And then at the end of the game, people that were actually there, he was doing like, usually you get cheered off and that's it. He's doing like a lap. Like they felt like he was just saying goodbye to all the fans. That's what it felt like. This is coming from Richmond supporters that were at the game. So I bumped into a couple that actually were there, and they were just like, it felt like it was a goodbye. And I said, so you wouldn't be surprised if he's playing on the Gold Coast next season? And they said, no, we actually wouldn't. Like, it's either that or he's going to retire. They feel. So that was the vibe they got at that game, and it's good to see the Tigers showed up for him. They got belted by 50. So the Hawks, mate, they've won 6 on the trot. And they're, I think, a game out of finals. So
28 points they're sitting on. And Dockers on 8th are on 30 points. So they're right there. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 teams on 28 points. The Bulldogs, the Suns, Demons, and the Hawks all on 28 points.
And as crazy as it sounds, mate, the Hawks is the best out of those 4 teams, based on the way they're playing their footy at the moment.
Well, yeah, the way they're playing their footy, the way they're able to move the ball, they've improved since the start of the season. I think I talked about the Hawks at the start of the season. You know, could they be that team that surprises everyone? So, I mean, they're showing that they're to win 6 on the trot. I mean, that's not easy. It's not easy, right?
I said it on the show last week, Source. Hawthorn is what I thought North Melbourne was going to be this year, which is what I said in the preseason preview for the. And then I remember what I said, we'd win 7 games, and then you turned around and you said to me, so would you win as many as these teams above you? And I looked at the ladder from last year and went, you know what, valid point. We'll probably win 3 games.
Well, you got close on the weekend, Dom.
We won't go there.
Like, one point. Yeah, 1 point. You were down. You were up, 50 points at one point in this game? How much were you up at three-quarter time?
I think it was 57. We were up at one point in this game, I think. Anyway, a lot of people have said to me, have you gone back? I didn't watch it. I had a birthday, so I just had the score updates. And it was funny, like, there was Collingwood supporters, like heaps of Collingwood supporters, and like, not for anything. I wanted to win the game for the fact of, like, not the fact that North was going to win. The fact that I could just watch how miserable Collingwood fans would have been at this function, because they would have lost to North. And then every other person that doesn't go for Collingwood or North Melbourne would turn around to them and say, mate, you lost to North Melbourne. But funnily enough, I sat there at halftime and I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe what we're doing. And then at three-quarter time, they'd cut it down to 6 goals. And I turned around to the Collingwood supporters and I said, mate, Fremantle will beat us in round 3 when we're up by 7 goals at three-quarter time. And they kicked 9 in the last quarter. So I said, by all signs point to we're going to lose this game. And funnily enough, we got done by a point. It is shattering, and people have asked me, will you go back and watch it? They said, our first half is premiership football. I said, mate, I can't go back and watch a game of football for North and be like, this is how well we played, to then know in the second half we turned to shit and we lost by a point. I can't sit there and justify.
You were killing them in the midfield in the first half.
I can't
and
justify.
In the fourth quarter, you forgot how to win a clearance.
Yeah,
you couldn't win one clearance in the fourth quarter.
And Wardlaw just dominated, and they took Will Phillips off, who was tagging Dacos, and there's been a lot of scrutiny on the coaching staff for doing that. But they said he was gassed, and I'm thinking to myself, mate, we're at round 14. Anyway, but I hope people listening actually understand where I'm coming from. I can't sit there and justify watching that game knowing that you lose from that point. You know what I'm saying? You can't be losing.
What about the non-50, Doma? What about the non-50?
But Sauce, we can talk about free kicks and we were robbed and this and that, and I understand that, and we were robbed. In all honesty, it was a 50.
You were. It was
a 50. It was a 50 straight in front of goal, mate. 100%. That's where it would have stopped. Literally 15 meters out.
What do you mean about 20 meters out, right in front, side angle?
Right in front. Yeah. It is what it is. Does he kick it? You cannot, mate. Under all that pressure, he could have missed it. You don't know. But in the end of the day, even if he kicks it behind in that situation, we would have drawn the game. So we would have salvaged something. But you can't rely on free kick Sauce and what could have been. What could have been was
we're up by
50. Well, no, but when you're up by over 50 at one stage, so that's 10 goal Sauce. I don't think people understand. When you're up by 56 points or 57 points, whatever it is, they need to kick 10 goals to beat you. So you're 10 goals in front. That's the way I look at it. They need to kick 10 goals. Not 9 goals. They need to kick 10. So for me, it's just I understand young playing group and this and that, but how many times do you want to keep making excuses and this Collingwood comeback thing and all that bullshit? Magda says Phillips was cooked. It was 50%, 100%. They ran over the mark. Just pay free kicks when they're there. Mate, let's put it this way. They paid Simpkin the free kick against West Coast the week before when it wasn't there, and they had to get one back. And what better way to do it for the Pies? The umpires, we spoke about it. I think Sauce spoke about it.
The free kick differential was pretty crazy. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. They got double the amount of free kicks than North Melbourne.
No.
I think so. I could be wrong.
Sauce spoke about you spoke about this in round 7.
Freeze 24 to Collingwood, 14 to North Melbourne.
No, I don't really care. Fuck. What are you gonna do? I was so disappointed on at the time, but it's everyone's like, you got to go back and watch it. Watch it, Dom. It was so good how we played. I don't give a fuck. If we beat them, we would have gone back and watched it. I don't want to go and watch my team knowing that I'm going to lose by a point and have to endure heartbreak again. I got better things to do with my time than sit there and get depressed again over a 1-point loss to Collingwood that you should have won when you're 10 goals up.
But it has taken half the season, which is what I said at the beginning. I said, honestly, I think it's going to take you guys half a season to become competitive.
You said second half of the season.
Now, I think teams need to realize, hang on, maybe we shouldn't start, Kangaroos aren't going to be a cakewalk this second half of the season. They're going to, if they can pull out, if you play more games like that, you have the chance to actually win 3 or 4 games in this second half of the season. So
100%. No, I don't disagree with you on that. I just hope they bring that. I hope it's just like a blip, and not for anything. That team's used to losing. You know what I mean? So hopefully they just say, you know what, let's bounce back now and just keep playing that exciting brand of football, and that they'll learn a lot from the loss. More than probably what they would have learned from if they actually won that game, because then that loss actually tells them you have to learn how to finish the game, mate. You can't. The coaching staff should say, with our list, 9 goals is not enough to turn off, to switch off. You have to just play the game through. what can I say? I'm not going to get upset about it. It is what it is. There was another point. I lost my thought. Yeah. You said something in round 7. So we're talking 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago, whatever the hell it was. And you spoke about how deplorable the umpiring and the score review was then, mate. It's actually gotten worse. They've had probably, I know we always look at umpires and we scrutinize them, but this year has been a disgrace. It's actually been a blight on football. The reason why? Because they introduced their 4 umpires, and more umpires means, we'll be able to see all the free kicks, and you've got more eyes and more mistakes. So it actually makes your brand of football look even worse. And the fact that you've got more umpires on there, that means you've got more eyes from the supporters watching you more intently in every game. So when you make more mistakes with more eyes, you get scrutinized more. So don't sit back, umpiring group, and be like, oh, we're trying. No. You putting the extra person on is to mitigate the problems and the poor decision making. Instead, you're making more poor decisions. So own up to the accountability of you stuffing up every week, whether
they
it's
don't
North
own up.
Melbourne or this.
They said they made a mistake with the 50, but then they come out and say that it was the right call for the umpire to call play on or something like that. Whatever. The words were completely.
He called play on after he wound up. Like 2 players went at him and he blind turned them. Because he could have thought the ball was touched because it was kicked off the ground. So when 2 guys come at you, we're trying to win the football game. Well, he's going to just get tackled.
Well, there was 45 seconds left.
Yeah, he's trying to get the ball back in the 50. So he's just done an arc around because there's 2 guys that have encroached on the mark. And then if you actually watch the footage, this is how dumb people are. Like the AFL, not the Umpires Association, how dumb they are. Do they not understand there's footage of the game and people watch it back? He called play on 3 seconds after he's ran off the mark because he's gone, I've made a mistake, I'll just play on. And he's waved his hands up. Instead of blowing the whistle and say, hold it there, that's 50, he didn't even blow the whistle for a mark.
He did blow the whistle. I'm pretty sure he did blow the whistle for a mark. That's the thing. He did.
That's the thing.
And then they've ran over.
Well, then
it should have been 50. It should have been 50. But
anyway, they've stuffed up massively. Who cares? It is what it is with North. The other game, Sydney smacked the Crows after the Crows were winning the whole for 3 quarters. Joel Amati kicked 9 in this game.
Should have had 10. They took him off. What are they doing, Johnny Longmire? What are you doing taking off when you're on 9 goals?
And then the Giants beat Port Adelaide. Butters got reported, but got off, I'm pretty sure. So all good. Yeah, what I'm saying is he marked it and then he wound around Magda because 2 guys have come at him. To avoid the tackle, essentially, is what I'm saying. When the 50 should have been paid. Anyway, it is what it is.
Could have, didn't, and
It didn't, and we lost by a point. Exactly. When we're up by 10 goals. So that's the way I look at it. I'm not one of these supporters where it's like, oh, this is bullshit. We were robbed. Mate, we robbed ourselves of the win because we let a 10-goal lead slip. That's the way you got to look at it. We had the opportunity too because Collingwood's team, they had a lot of injuries. So we should have capitalized on that as well. Anyway, let's get to this week's game so we can get our tips. Carlton versus Geelong tonight at the G.
I'm going to go Carlton.
So am I. Cats are finished. Saturday, Port Adelaide versus Brisbane, Adelaide Oval. This is, funnily enough, Source, $1.88 favourites, Port Adelaide. Brisbane are $1.92 outsiders, 4-cent outsiders. So the bookies are backing in the lines a bit here. They played, I know last week they beat the Saints, so everyone needs to just take a chill pill. But they actually played some pretty good football. Gamble responsibly, of course. But, power versus Lions.
I'm going to go... I don't even know, mate. Well, I'm going to go Brisbane.
I'm also going to go Brisbane.
I'm
going Brisbane.
I don't know.
Giants versus Swans. Engie Stadium, Sydney.
I'll back the Swans.
I'm backing the Swans also. They are the best team in the league by a country mile. It's not even close.
You got a chance to win this game, Dom.
Yeah, I'm tipping North.
No
Melbourne is
Petrarca.
shit. Melbourne
Melbourne
is
are
shit.
rubbish.
They're shit.
And
Genuinely, the only thing that stops North Melbourne from winning this game is it's at the MCG. The only thing. But honest to God, the only thing.
you have a chance.
I'm tipping North because I
I'm gonna
reckon they're rubbish.
I'm gonna go Melbourne, but I actually think North could win that.
Essendon versus the Eagles at Marvel on Sunday.
Essendon. Hopefully, Big Harley's in, so I can see him with my own eyes.
He's back. I'm going Essendon, and then the last game, Fremantle versus Suns.
Fremantle. We know Gold Coast can't travel.
Yeah, Freo for me as well. Kamula says on Instagram, if North can last 4 quarters, they might take it. I agree. Magda's gone to the game. He says, "Don't worry about having no Horn Francis and Harley Reid. We got Wardlaw and Cheezel. Oh mate, Wardlaw's unbelievable, and Cheezel's a gun. So, but Harley Reid's Harley Reid. So, Essendon to beat the Eagles by 30 plus is Magda.
Hopefully, we don't slap sides, Magda. We just don't. It's just not the Essendon way. You know, we'll probably, if we win that game, we win by 2 goals, maybe 3.
The buys this week are Adelaide, Collingwood, Bulldogs, Hawthorn, St Kilda, Richmond. So nice. All right, Sauce. I'm glad I've got you back because the Euros have begun and we're into the second round of games. So I'll just quickly run through the first round if you want to stop me on any of them. So the opening game was Germany-Scotland, 5-1 win to Germany. They look very, very good in that game. Switzerland defeated Hungary 3-1. Spain defeated Croatia 3-0. I thought Croatia would offer a bit more in the second game against Albania because they actually had opportunities to actually win this game against Spain. They missed a lot of goal-scoring opportunities, like fluffed them. Italy defeat Albania 2-1. Netherlands defeat Poland 2-1. Slovenia, Denmark, a 1-1 draw. England defeated Serbia unconvincingly 1-0. Romania won 3-0 against Ukraine. I'm not sure if you saw some of the goals in that game. The goal from Stankiu outside the box was unbelievable. Just top bins. Slovakia defeated Belgium 1-0, and Lukaku missed some of the best goals, mate. It was so good. Oh, Lukaku, he shit the bed. France defeat Austria 1-0. Of course, the big talking point was Kylian Mbappe with the broken nose, and he's going to wear a mask. So he's officially going to be the Ninja Turtle, mate, as everyone's been calling him online. I don't know if anyone remembers that PSG video from a while back when Sergio Ramos bought him the Michelangelo mask, and he put it in like a Dior box or Gucci box. And he thought he was getting a gift, and he opened it, and then there was just a Michelangelo mask in there because he looked like a turtle. So it's very funny. So anyway, now we've actually got masked Mbappe. So it's going to be interesting. Turkey defeat Georgia 3-1. The Arda Güler goal was just phenomenal. The youngster from Real Madrid, just absolute banger and a half.
Oh, watch out for him at Real Madrid next season. Yeah, he's gonna be good. He's a good player.
He's very, very good. Portugal defeat Czechia 2-1. They win in the death in that game to get the win. Win's a win. You take it. Ronaldo scrutinized. Expect that in every single game. And expect it if Portugal go on to win the whole tournament. Just expect everyone to say they got carried for the whole tournament. I'm just telling you, this is the narrative for him. Like, just typical. So that's just the way it works, mate.
He played pretty well in that game.
No, he didn't. Not according to the pundits. I'm not sure if you actually listened to the pundits after the game. So they were saying, oh, he should be doing more. He did absolutely nothing. He had no involvement in the game. And I actually, sometimes I understand people are going to be like, oh, yeah, Dom, you're biased because it's Ronaldo. But I don't think people actually understand the fact that teams fear this guy at 39 years of age and he's getting double and triple teamed for the whole game. Like, I don't think people understand. Everyone goes, oh, he's washed up and he's finished. Is he actually? Because teams are fucking shitting their pants every time the ball's near him. Like, and the whole time Ronaldo, he's out there coaching the team and telling them what to do. And it was pissing down rain in this game, and the whole time he kept saying, "Keep crossing the ball in, keep crossing the ball in," like trying to say, like, it'll come, it'll come, it'll come. Just keep getting the ball in there, whether it's to him or to someone else. Lo and behold, the 2 goals they scored were off crosses because the keeper, the ball slipped out of his hands on the first one, hits the player, goes in for an own goal. The second one, they cross it in. The defender closes his knees, like, I don't know what he was doing, like buckled, and the ball skidded, hit him in the knees. He couldn't control it, and they got a tap in. It's wet. Like, it was coming down in sheets. And not for anything. I know everyone was bagging Ronaldo, mate. You almost scored that header, which, like, off the goal that was disallowed. Like, he was offside by. Did you see how much he was offside by? A third of a foot. Like, anyway, he's going to get scrutinized. I'm just telling everyone, he's going to get scrutinized the whole game, the whole tournament. It is what it is. And if they were to lose that game, Source, and then they lose the next 2 and they don't make it out of the group stages, the only person they'll blame is Ronaldo. I'm serious. They'll say, "Oh, he shouldn't have started. It's like playing with one less man. All this rubbish, blah, 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 blah." They don't look at the fact of the other things. And that's just the way, mate. I was watching the Copa America tale. I actually wanted to watch Messi. And he played pretty well, but, mate, he missed 2 absolute sitters. Absolute sitters. And everyone laughed it off and went, "Oh, it just didn't go his way today." I'm serious. Those are all the posts I've seen. "Oh, the GOAT. Oh, it just didn't go his way." Fuck, if Ronaldo missed those 2 sitters, they would have flamed him. Flamed him. You know it, Source, as well as flamed him. Just enjoy watching him. You're probably not going to see him playing another Euros, mate.
Look, Portugal's looking good in that group. I think they can definitely get out of that group.
Felix didn't even play as well.
Yeah.
And the most frustrating Portuguese player to watch on planet Earth is Rafael Leao. It feels like he puts 0 effort in.
It does look like that at times, doesn't he?
He only puts effort when it's there to have effort put in. If it's not given to him on a golden platter, he does nothing with it. Like, he's frustrating. Anyway, then Croatia and Albania. So round 2 started again. This is Italy's group. Croatia and Albania actually play out a 2-2 draw. So essentially, Croatia on the 1 point, Albania on the 1 point. Spain's on 6 now because they defeated Italy this morning.
That's
Italy
good.
on 3. All Italy need to do is get a draw. And hope that Spain, if they lose, don't get belted 3-0, which I can't see Albania putting 3 goals past, or even 2 goals past Spain.
They'll lose that game.
Yeah.
Spain look good. They're one of the teams that look really, really good. The way that they're able to move the ball and they're passing out from the back. They got confidence, and that midfield looks strong. It's just going to be a matter of whether they get to the pointy end of the tournament. Are there strikers, and is Morata going to be able to finish the chances that he gets? And that's what it's going to come down to.
No Rodri in the Albania game. It's probably the game you want him to miss with the yellows. I'm not sure if you've seen that. So he's out in the next one. He's been dominating, and Pedri dominated this morning. He played so well.
Good.
And Nico Williams.
Donnarumma had an absolute blinder today. This morning, he kept Italy in that game single-handedly.
100%. 100%. Other games yesterday, Germany defeated Hungary 2-0. Scotland and Switzerland played out a 1-1 draw. I'm not sure if you've seen Xherdan Shaqiri's goal for Switzerland. The guy's still playing.
I know.
Sauce, go, if you haven't seen it, ladies and gents, if you all haven't seen it, go see the goal he scored. It was an absolute cracker. But he just kicks bangers, Xherdan Shaqiri. Then Slovenia and Serbia 1-1. Spain defeated Italy 1-0 this morning. But the biggest talking point, Sauce, the biggest talking point of the Euros up until this point was the England-Denmark 1-1 draw this morning. They're calling for Southgate's head. Apparently, I haven't gone back and watched the mini-match yet, but by all reports, it was some of the worst football they've ever seen the 3 Lions put together on a soccer pitch, on a football pitch, in years. I just want your thoughts. Obviously, England was coming in as one of the favourites. They made the final against Italy 4 years ago, or a couple of years ago. They got done in the final on penalties. But man, obviously some questionable selection of players leading into the tournament. There's also some questionable tactics by Southgate on how he sets up his team on game day. But I love to hear your thoughts because I've got a big, bold move that could fix this team. But I don't know if the English want to hear it. So,
Well, we'll just put it like this. I mean, they don't look convincing. And, if you're looking at teams like, compared to teams like Spain, compared to teams like Germany, compared to teams, I mean, I'd say Spain and Germany have played the best football of any two teams at this tournament in terms of the way they move the ball. They look like they've got good chemistry in their team. England look far from that, far from that. And, when you come up against these better sides, in the knockout stages, you will get found out. So, yeah, look, it's interesting to see what they're going to do from here. I mean, you would think a team like Denmark, they would, be able to win. I mean, they win that game, they're probably through the group. Now they got to play out their last matchup, against, I think they are against Slovenia. They already versed Serbia. So, you'd think they'd get the job done there, but nothing's ever written in stone. So England need to improve if they're going to go on to win this tournament. Let me just tell you that, because they're else then it definitely is not coming home. From the football I've seen them play thus far, it's slow build up. It doesn't. Yeah, it's got. There's just no. There's no consistency to the way that they're playing. I think it's sort of. They're just relying on a bit too much on their talented players. I mean, their system looks absolutely bang average, the way they move the ball around the pitch. So, he's playing. He's got Alexander Arnold in midfield. I understand. Like, I get it. I do get it. I get it. Right.
rubbish.
But you're playing a guy there who never plays there for his club.
Rubbish.
And you're expecting him to play that position when you've got guys on the bench that's their position for their club, right? Put them in there. You know what I mean?
I'll fix it. I'm going to fix it right now, Sauce. I'm going to fix the team.
What would you do?
I'm going to fix the team right now. Right now. On the spot. I know it's not Real Madrid, so don't get my words twisted, all right? But you have the potential to set this team up like a Real Madrid. Here's what they've lined up with today. As you can see, as Saucy mentioned, TAA, there he is, playing in midfield. You got to play this as a 4-3-3. All right? Bellingham has to play the 10. You have two holding mids or centre mids. Right? You want to play these four, that's fine. But I take Kieran Trippier off. You play Trent Alexander-Arnold. Because then on the overlap, Declan Rice could drop in and cover him because he's good defensively. And the same with Kobe Mainu, who should be playing as the starting midfielder. So it should be Rice, Mainu, Bellingham in the 4-3-3. Up top should be Foden, Saka, and Cole Palmer. Harry Kane, I'm sorry, this is the bold prediction. They're too static with him there. They need to have run and carry with the football. And as Saucy mentioned to me when I suggested this to him, he said those three guys, Foden, Palmer, and Saka, can all be interchangeable up front.
Well, Harry Kane not just that. You would have Foden, Bellingham, Saka, Palmer all having the ability to rotate through those positions. Yes. And then you'd be able to overload one side of the pitch. You get that nice overload on one side of the pitch, outnumber them on that side of the pitch, and then you'll be able to, beat teams, have a different tactic. I mean, with Harry Kane, he sometimes drops wide, but he drops wide, gives it off, and goes straight back to the middle. He's never dropping wide, staying wide. He doesn't have the pace on the wing to then take guys on. So, I mean, you put Cole Palmer in there. He's shown his dribbling ability. What did he score? 20 goals in the Prem this season. So, it's proven that he can put the ball in the back of the net as well. So, it's not a bad choice. It's not a bad choice, but they have to try something because,
You can
As I
have
said,
Kane come off the bench. I know that sounds ridiculous, and everyone's going to be like, "Yeah, but he's an England legend, this and that." Okay, that's all well and good, dominating in the Bundesliga, scoring goals against no one. Like, let's be realistic. Cole Palmer dominated in the Premier League, and you're not giving him a start. Like, he's picked Ivan Toney on the bench. The guy came back in January after a suspension for gambling. Like, he's got no football under his belt. And the thing with Bellingham playing in the 10 with those other two, like, he's so much like if you watch Real Madrid games, which I know we do, and I'm sure a lot of people would, him in the 10, he's so dominant.
yeah, he makes those runs into the box, gets in there late, gets on.
How do
He's
you
already
reckon he
scored one.
scored in the first game? That's how he
Yep,
scored in the first game.
late
He
run and
came
then
in
got
he
on the
came
end of
in
it.
late and then won the header. He's a massive body in midfield. Like, anyway, I'm trying to fix England. I don't know why I'm trying to fix England because I don't want them to win the tournament. But that's actually a suggestion. And like you said, Sauce, I don't know why they're playing fullbacks in midfield in positions that, like you said, they got guys on the bench that actually play these positions for their club, but they choose to play the fullback over the centre mids or the CDMs. It's actually mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
They are on
South
4 points. It's not. It's not all doom and gloom for them. So people need to remember that too. So that's the other thing. It's not doom and gloom.
Yeah, but it's not doom and gloom. But at the same time, like they're going to get out of the group, no doubt about it. Don't get that part twisted. But
It's just
they're a top 4 favorite to win the tournament, Dom. Like I mean, France,
yeah.
Germany, Spain, and England are the top 4 favorites, right? So
Man.
you're talking about a team that's meant to go deep into this tournament. They keep playing like this. I'm telling you, they are not going to go deep into this tournament. They're going to get found out in the quarters.
I think they've already been
Quarterfinal.
found out, to be honest. It's just teams will capitalize now to be realistic. Anyway, some key games before our next pod next Tuesday. So we've got Netherlands, France tomorrow morning. That'll be a cracker, 5 a.m. This is all Australian time. Sorry for those that are not in Australia. Sunday morning, 2 a.m., Turkey, Portugal. I think that'll be a banger. Belgium play against Romania at 5 a.m. that morning. I think that is worth the watch, ladies and gentlemen. For the sake of what will Belgium do? Like, honestly, that's entertaining football right there. Just to see what will
I'm
happen.
telling you, it's going to be Romania like they played their first game. They had 25% of possession against Ukraine and they kicked 3 goals and won 3-0. And that, if they've shown the counter-attack abilities against Ukraine, what's to say they don't do the same thing to Belgium? After what I've seen from Belgium, and they tried everything in that game, in their first game. I mean, they had, at one point, De Bruyne was playing central midfield. Then he was playing center attacking mid. Then he was playing CDM. He was going and getting the balls off the center backs. Like they had him everywhere. But the problem was you had Lukaku up front who can't stay onside. And I'm not sure if you've seen the chance that he missed at the end of the second half where he was through on goal. And I don't know why he tried to tap it around the keeper and go, but he tries to tap it around the keeper and he had the touch. His touch that he tried to touch around the keeper was the touch of literally a 50-year-old absolute spud that can't control it. He's hit it and it just kicked it out of play. I don't know why he was trying to go around the keeper. If he just got a toe poke to it, the keeper was there. He just had to get it past him. It was a goal. So, I don't know. That Belgium team, they should be doing better than what they are doing. They've got amazing talent, but don't be surprised if they somehow fail to
that wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. The other games Monday. So there's 2 5 a.m. games on Monday, which I've noticed that they start getting grouped together. So the 2 5 a.m. games on Monday are Germany and Switzerland. Be good to watch Germany again. Musiala is a beast. If those have forgotten how well Musiala played at the World Cup, just go back in a failing German side at that World Cup. He was well and truly head and shoulders the best player on that team. Like, it wasn't even close. And then Tuesday morning before our pod, Spain-Albania, which would be good watching at 5 a.m. The other game at 5 a.m., Italy-Croatia. So that will also be a banger. So
Massive.
stay tuned for that, and then we'll give you some nice matchups going forward from Wednesday onwards, which I can see there's a couple interesting games. So, and
It's
it's
firming up a
funny.
good tournament.
Spain's already qualified from that group. So Monday, the 1st of July, they're just waiting for their opponent, mate. Right there, it says it. 5 a.m. they're playing. Easy. That's it for the Euros. F1 this week, the Spanish Grand Prix that is in Barcelona, 11 p.m. on Sunday night. So you can roll in the F1 into the Euros, which would be very, very nice. They're 5 a.m. games on Monday. So watch the F1s, have a little nap, little snooze, get up, and then watch the Euros. Over to you for some UFC source.
Yes, Domo UFC over the weekend. We had a fight night at the Apex. So if you haven't seen it, I'll just bring it up. We'll just run through the results quickly. The main card was Alex Perez against Tatsuro Tara, the Japanese, in the flyweight. Tatsuro Tara gets the KO in the second round to defeat Alex Perez. So that's a big win by Tara. He's number 13 ranked in the flyweight division, defeats number 5 ranked in the flyweight division. So we'll see a bit of a shake-up in the rankings. The bantamweight, you had Miles Johns defeating Douglas Silva de Andrade in the third round decision. Featherweight division, you had Lucas Almeida defeating Timmy Guamba, third round decision. Brady Hydeston defeating Garrett Armfield with a submission in the third round in the bantamweight division. And then Asus Alambayev against Jose Johnson, defeating him in the third round decision. And then Josh Quinlan defeated by Adam Fugit with a split decision that went the distance. That was the main card. There was a few more bouts on as well, so you can check out those if you wanted to see. There is a card this weekend, Doma. It is massive. UFC Fight Night coming up. There it is. There he is, the main man, Robert Whittaker, against which was supposed to be Chimaev. Doma.
Well, very interesting Chimaev source. He hasn't fought in a very long time. I've seen some crazy stat. He hasn't fought in a while.
Hasn't fought in a long time. He's
Keeps
pulled
missing
out.
weights, keeps pulling out of fights.
So he now comes up against a new opponent, Ikram Al Eskrov. He comes up against him. So it's that's for the middleweight in the middleweight division. Big risk by Robert Whittaker. I mean, he's number 3 ranked and he's coming up against a guy who's unranked. Al Eskerov's got nothing to lose, so it should be. I don't know too much about Al Eskerov, so I can't comment.
I'm pretty sure he fought a couple of weeks ago, didn't he?
So we can click on him and check out his history. Here we go. Last time he fought was the 22nd of October, 2023. So
he was meant to. I think he pulled out of a card, or someone pulled out against him.
This is going to be a cracker, Doma. The second
one there. Yeah,
the co-main event, Sergey Pavlovich against Andrei Alexander Volkov in the heavyweight division. That firms to be an absolute cracker. In the middleweight division, you got Calvin Gastelum against Daniel Rodriguez. That's a cracker. Sharev Magomedov against Antonio Trocoli. Put down Sharev Magomedov to win that one.
He's the one that's blind, ladies and gentlemen, in one eye. So
yeah, he's an absolute unit. And then you got light heavyweight Johnny Walker against Volkov Ozdemir. So that's the main card that kicks off from 5 a.m. The main card kicks off Sunday, and the prelims kick off from 2 a.m. So you know what? You get up Sunday, 5 a.m. You have one screen, you have the UFC on, and on the other screen you have the Euros on, and you're absolutely frothing sports. And
then that night you have one screen, the F1. Oh no, then you watch the F1s that night, and then you have a nap, and you wake up Monday morning and you watch some more Euros. You got footy during the day, mate. It is chock full of sport at the moment. And funnily enough, that morning after the UFC, what's on source? Copa America. So there'll be even more football to watch.
Yes,
so you could literally sit in front. You could genuinely sit in front of the television on Sunday, the whole entire day if you have nothing on, and there'll be sport every 2 hours.
Yeah, from 5 a.m. all the way.
That's ridiculous. You got to love it as a sport lover. So the other things also I quickly did want to bring up because we spoke about Ryan Garcia in his fight against Haney about a month ago. I'm not sure if you saw he got suspended for a year.
I did see that.
Yeah,
And
so,
Haney's kicking up a stink because he wants the loss wiped from his record, and he refuses to fight until they wipe that loss.
that's okay. That's good. I mean, won't fight then.
Well, if he doesn't fight for a certain period of time, I'm pretty sure they got to take the belts off him because you have to, even though you do have those belts, I think you have to.
And also,
in a certain period.
the Zone Boxing announced Floyd Mayweather versus Arturo Gotti as well later in the year. So they're going to fight each other for the third time.
Who's this?
Oh, they fought each other twice before. So I'm just saying Floyd's got a professional fight coming up, not a fucking Logan Paul, Jake Paul,
Okay,
Deji, KSI type
yeah.
money grab. That's what I'm saying. He's actually got a proper fight coming up. So that's later on in the year. So Conor McGregor is a scaredy cat. Oh yeah, we didn't get to talk about that because you weren't here. So he pulled out obviously against Chandler.
Pulled
Your
out.
thoughts?
He's injured. Whether he's injured or not, I just think he's probably not even taking it seriously, man.
I reckon
I
he
don't
pissed
know.
in a cup and it came back positive. So they could they had to just not for performance enhancing, for other stuff. Or maybe still got some performance enhancing because he juiced up that much. It's going to take like 4 years to get out of his system, mate.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I'm sort of not surprised that the fight didn't eventuate. I'm sort of not surprised. Right?
It's dispute because it would have been good to see him come out, fight. As you know, you said it 100 times. Like, he's the big draw card. It doesn't matter who he fights, when he fights. Everyone's going to watch it. So, but it would have been interesting to put your theory into place. Like, you said that he probably comes out and he loses, and then there's no point even having him come back. Like, that's it. He's done. Like, everyone knows where he stands. Then he just becomes one of those like legend fighters that comes and fights in those, like those Diaz versus so and so fights, and he just becomes a gimmick and a money making tool. That's all he becomes after.
Yeah.
But if he wins that fight and he actually goes on back full time, which is never going to happen. But yeah, Magda says Dahmer and Sauce train me up. I wouldn't know the first thing to help you in that department. Wouldn't have a clue. Anyway, onto Hobby Talk Sauce. I haven't got much. There hasn't been much happening. As I said at the top of the show, the Golden Touch, the King of Collectibles, that's back on Netflix season 2. I haven't watched it just yet, but I will tune in. I watched season 1, and it's obviously a well-produced show because Netflix pumped heaps of money into it, and it was very successful as well. So if you're keen on collectibles, it's not just trading cards, it's all sorts of things. Check that out. There's also one of these shows coming out on Channel 9 as well, Source. You sent me something. So it's a collectible show as well. So Channel 9
it's
putting
here in
together something.
Australia. They're putting together something.
Australia. So that's good as well. So some more collectible content coming out. That's it from me on that front. There is just one checklist that's come out, Source, and it's Immaculate Wrestling. Where are we? Here we are. We've gone through what the product is. We'll go have a look at some of the autos. There's Austin, there's Taker, Kevin Owens, Patch, Rhea Ripley, the Aussie. There's LA Knight. Autos. Let's have a look. Some of the guys: John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Leader, Kevin
Tori
Nash.
Wilson.
Yeah, that's one for Source.
Rikishi.
There's one for me. Kurt Angle. Trish Stratus. Hulk Hogan, Booker T, Catchphrase, Calligraphy. That's pretty good. Roman Reigns auto. Nice. Undertaker, Mankind, Championship Glory, Seth Rollins, Gunther, Roman Reigns. Triple autos. Kane, HBK, Steve Austin. Batista is in there. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. That's a pretty good one. The Divas, dual autos. I'm just going through just to make sure if there's any rock autos, but I don't think there is. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, that's a nice one. Solo and Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, that's a sick card, to be honest. That's nice too. Dom Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. Dual autos. Carmelo Hayes, Bron Breakker. That's an NXT one. This is for people that watch wrestling. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. John Cena, Austin Theory. Lex Luger. I'm not sure if you remember him, Source back in the day. There you go. Stacy Keibler, Trish Stratus, dual auto.
Oh, there you go. That's the chase right there, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner. So big pop of pomp. There he is. Scott Steiner. The footwear. You got Hulk Hogan in there. Kurt Angle. Shawn Michaels. $1 Million Man in the heralded order. Stacy Keibler again. Who else is in there? Where's Sable, mate? Oh, that's interesting. Oh no, Mike Rotunda. That's not. What's his name? Is it? I've gone blank. Shawn Michaels again. There's a lot of Shawn Michaels autos in this product. Like a lot. Immaculate Inks. Tori Wilson again for Source. Beth Phoenix, who's married to Edge. Cactus Jack. Dude Love. The Hurricane. That's a good one, mate. Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through, mate.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah. There's some funny ones, of course, in there. Milestone. R-Truth. It's always a good one to get. Honky Tonk Man. So, yeah, I don't think there's any...
It's actually a pretty good checklist.
Yeah.
Right? It's a pretty
100%.
good... It's a pretty good checklist for autos. It really is.
There's a lot of them. Like there's Undertaker.
What's a box cost? Dama? Is there?
That's a good. Oh, that'll be up here. Sorry. That's the checklist. Hobby boxes. If I click on it, 99 cents. Why is that? Share tab. 5 days left. This one's at $338.
What's that? Buy it now there.
Yeah, $490.
So nearly 500 USD.
500 USD for a box. Yeah, round about that.
I mean, it's not. I mean, when you think about it, it's expensive, but it's not that bad. You know, if you're looking at comparison, you're comparing.
That's
that
how much a box of immaculate basketball used to cost.
Used to cost back in the day, yeah.
Now it's 20 G's or whatever the hell it is for a box. Flawless.
Yeah, that's like 7,000, I think it is. Something like that.
Yeah, Flawless is 20 G's. Was 20 G's. But Flawless used to be like, I think it was $900 or $1,000 for a box because it was the premier product. At 20x Source. 20x.
20x and 20x downwards in value. What you
and
get
20x in print run as well at the same time.
More like fucking a 50x in print run.
Ridiculous. Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid, Magda's loving it. It is a great checklist.
It is a very good checklist. I will give that. I knew a lot of those guys on that checklist.
Which is good. Like they got a mix of vets as well as like the current guys. And some of those current guys are really, really good wrestlers. So if you watch it, by all means, jump on it. Last thing from me, Source, if you have anything, but here's a week from Sunday. We have the Hobby Hangout. There you go. Jake Matthews, UFC athlete, Q&A and signing, which is awesome. It's a great get. Workshop by Lane from the Hobby Australia. Matty Payne alongside special guests on the panel. Live podcast for You Can't Comp This Pod and us. Trading Zones. Mate, you ready for all the people here? Boom.
Big. Here we go. Couple of familiar faces, familiar names. Get down Sunday,
Card
the
beat.
30th, Melbourne Pavilion. Buy your tickets. The Hobby Hangout. Sydney show was gangbusters from all reports. So if you can make it to the Melbourne one, get down. And look, it is the biggest and baddest show in terms of hobby wise that we have. Anything on the grander scale, I think, Tracon is probably on a grander scale, but it's not as diverse in the amount of cards that people bring. It's probably a bit more TCG oriented. So get down to Hobby Hangout and support the show. Because I think there's only going to be one this year, Dom. I don't think this will be the only one.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. We'll see. We could be wrong, Swords. Who knows? But I think one. Well, it's all going to be dependent on how well this show goes. So, realistically, let's be honest. They're not going to put on another show if it doesn't do as well as the previous ones. Like, that's just logic, business. But yeah, 11:30 a.m., 4:30 p.m. finish. It is at Melbourne Pavilion on the 30th of June. So we've got speakers, 75 plus stalls, live breaks, trading zones, trading card games, entertainment cards. Jake Matthews has liked it. He's all over it, ready to go, which is great. Leon Smash Burgers, they're the food truck that's always there.
Cracker Burgers, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are there, get one. Leon Smash Burgers. They go down a treat.
There you go. That's it from me, unless you got something. Great man.
No, the only really thing that I sort of came across, but I'm not sure if you've seen it. I should have saved it. I should have sent it. Like I usually do. I saved it, the post, but we know the whole situation with card cleaning and Kurt's care and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, so PSA has actually changed the wording of what they consider sort of, they've changed their wording in their terms and conditions, which now the new wording, which I should have saved it. Actually, I'll see I'll see if I can find it because I think I remember who posted it. And the wording is pretty funny. It pretty much it's clear as day now. It's pretty much clear as day, right? Here we go. I found it, Doma, so I can bring it up.
Yeah, he's all over
it. This one. So shout out Tiffany Cards. This is where I seen it. Before, after, no grade definitions update. So as you can see on the left, when a N7 evidence of cleaning, when a whitener is used to whiten borders or a solution is used to remove wax, candy, gum, or tobacco stains, note that this designation can qualify for encapsulation as authentic altered, as the grader is at the grader's discretion, and if AA is listed on the submission form as the desired minimum grade, you will be charged the applicable grading fee in either case. Now, this is what it says after the update. When a whitener is used to whiten borders or a solution is used to remove wax, candy, gum, or tobacco stains. Additionally, when any foreign substance is applied to the surface of a card, such as cleaning spray or wax, note that this designation can qualify for encapsulation as authentic altered. And then it goes on to say the exact same words that I said before at the end. So they've added that in. Additionally, when any foreign substance is applied to the surface of a card, such as cleaning spray or wax, meaning what Kurt's care is, it can be considered altered. So it can't be more clear as day, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a matter of whether they catch you or they don't catch you. So if they catch you, it's altered. If it's a 1-of-1 Wemby and you tell them that you've done it and you're in the headquarters, it's not altered because it's 1-of-1 Wemby. So don't worry, if you hit a big 1-of-1, you can still use Kurt's care because they wanted it in that PSA slab. But if it's any other card, I'd be a bit wary.
Sauce. That is just great business marketing by PSA just to get everyone that's been putting it on them to shut the hell up and leave them alone on this topic. That's all it is. Just good business practice. And we just put something in there. If we catch you do it, we'll grade it as AA. If we don't catch you, oh well. You reckon they're going to care? They're not going to care. They're not going to care. They're just going to.
You go like this, pop it out, and then send it back, mate. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple.
No, they're just going to keep pumping out cars. They just rather not have people do their bananas in over it. That's pretty much it, to be honest.
No, you're right. You're right on the money.
And they'll have like people sending them 400 message DMs a day saying like, "Oh, this car just got graded a 10, but this guy had it on used Kurt's Card Care last week, and like this is the serial code, mate." You know what you do, ladies and gentlemen? When you start posting all your cars, just start hiding all your serial codes. Like, who cares? There's no proof in it.
Yeah.
Just hide all the serial codes. Who gives a shit? Like, I know it's bad, but as Source and I keep saying, everyone's been doing it, and PSA don't care. They've made it look like they do care by putting this in their T's and C's. So that's it. Their bottom line at PSA, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line of business is to make money and profit. And the bottom line of PSA, collectors, is to make money so then the shareholders make more money. That is the game. And that is how it is played. And ladies and gentlemen, if you actually think the shareholders give a stuff about you, it's like any other multi-billion dollar, million-dollar business on planet Earth. The bottom line is to make money and make profit. And whatever they do in front of you is just optics to get you to keep using their service so then they can generate more revenue. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think if you realize, but in business, if you have a good year for your shareholders expect you to match or beat that year in the years following. Not to make less money. It's either match or beat what you provided your shareholders the following years to come. So, straight up. So if you think about it in that sense, that's your reflection for tonight from Double Coverage. The wise words of wisdom from us. Just reflect on that. They're a listed company. They have shareholders. You do the math and you do the research. It's like any company on planet Earth, mate. Why do you reckon everyone jumped down Elon Musk's throat when he was posting things and Tesla stock went down? Because shareholders have a lot of money invested in the company, mate, and they lost a lot of money. So they get a bit worried because, you know, that they think it's a sure thing. And that's where they put their money. They're tied up in these companies. So they generate wealth, and eventually they either sell their part on mergers or whatever, and they just make more money. Like this. It's just common sense. My first 2 orders with PSA this year, upcharged on both, 3 cards per order. Upcharged to $130 USD on 1 card. Cards were worth more than the grading fee I paid.
Weren't worth more than the grading fee you paid.
Cards were worth more than the grading fee I paid. Well, it must be weren't worth more. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The upcharge is a disgrace.
The upcharge situation on PSA is just
because it's so.
Times.
Because the upcharge is like you're basing it on cards off the value of cards that are generated by the general public. Like the value of cards are based on the discretion of what someone's willing to pay for the card, and it could change tomorrow. It could be $9,000 today. Like Johnny Sins there sells the Mac Jones for $100,000 today, and tomorrow he gets traded and it's worth $10. But you've upcharged and made an extra $1 gazillion. Like, based off the absolute lunacy of people purchasing cards and having too much money to throw around, you're upcharging people. Like, the upcharge should not be a thing. It's a grading fee to get your card encapsulated, and that is it. They shouldn't have
think
this
I think
pyramid of economies of scale in a pyramid of
yeah.
like your card's worth this
I,
and
I,
then this.
yeah, I
Like
feel like they could have some sort of model like that, but they need to blanket that cost. You know what I mean? Like it needs to just be like, this is the cost and that's it, right? Not just you could go up to potentially paying upwards of $1,000 to get your card graded. Should it be, a card of that big of value? So, yeah. What's he said, Brett?
mainly NHL F1 cards. The big upcharge was a Kale McCarr SPA auto, which is now worth 2K US, as it was given a 10 by PSA. It's a PC card, yet they took a larger cut on a card I'll never sell. Yeah, I get that, but they don't know that too, Brett. They don't know what the intention of the grading's for. But what I'm trying to say is, like, the value of that card is set and by an unregulated market. So Source and I could want to send X amount of cards, for example, to PSA, and they're worth $50, and I get them back, and then between Source and I, we do some private sales that then eventually come to light, and do some shill bidding on eBay, and those $50 cards, we sell all 10 of them, and the average price gets averaged out to about $1,500 a card. So then you're the next person that sends those cards in, and they look at the latest sales on eBay, and they go, fuck, everyone must want that's a good one. Nat Turner cards that were $50 and now they're worth $1,500. So the next person that's puts the cards in, they get upcharged on it, because Source and I are doing a shifty between each other so we can generate more money for ourselves.
Well, that's exactly what the egg card was. Remember
That's
that?
the egg. Exactly.
That's the egg card.
So that's
Right
all the
there.
business is. The business is capitalizing on a lot of shady stuff and shield bidding stuff that goes through. That they'll just say, "Oh, that was look. It's a certified sale on eBay, even if it was shield." They'll be like, "Oh, that's the last sale of the card, so that's the value of your card." They don't go through the last 100 listings and they add them all together and they divide it by
Nah,
100 cards.
they got Cardladder, mate. They own Cardladder now, so they can get Uncle Fester just to write any fucking thing they want in there, and he will just tick it off and go, "Yep, verified sale."
Nat Turner has come out and said the upcharge is due to covering insurance for the cards being in their facility. Mate, they should have insurance in general that covers all cards for all values. Just their insurance as a company should have their ass covered. That's just
some bullshit answer for everything.
It's just mumbo jumbo that they just chuck in everything. I love it. It's just business mumbo jumbo. Like, how much does a PSA slab cost to produce, and we pay $50 for grading or more? It costs 5 cents. Go on AliExpress and you can order them yourself, mate. Yeah, you can. You can use Cardladder in Australia.
Yeah, you can get a free trial, Magda. Just make sure you cancel before they charge your card.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's the truth behind it.
You can use it for free. There's a portion of it you can use it for free as well, Magda. So,
but in the end, it is rubbish. The upcharge is a load of shit. Like, it's just them trying to make more money. And the whole thing, coming back to how this whole discussion started, mate, the reason why they put that stuff in their T's and C's on the altering is so they don't get pestered anymore. They're just sick of hearing this shit.
They're sick of Rahul talking about it.
Yeah, sick of Rahul talking about it. They don't want, mate, they're best friends with Kurt's Cub Care. They don't want him to get ratted out. It's just, anyway. But there'll be some lemon that, yeah, Tom, I hope the Kangas have been a little more enjoyable to watch the last few weeks. I didn't watch the game on Sunday, mate. I can't bring myself to do it, Brett. I'm not sure if I'll talk about it at the start of the pod in the AFL section. Where is card porn now? Mate, they will make a documentary on that guy in 5 years' time. I'll direct it. I would love to.
Let's just put it this way. What he's done in the card hobby, he's already done in the fine art hobby. Yeah. He's been there, done it. He's two bunches of people.
Mate, what he's done in the card hobby is what like half the people we see out there still putting on shows and doing stuff in America have done the whole time. And people worship those other guys. It's just he was the easy scapegoat to
because he was faceless.
Yeah, faceless. Catch Me If You Can too. Yeah, he is, mate. He's DiCaprio.
So good.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, Sauce, welcome back.
Didn't we have him up on it at one time? Do we have that image still?
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is.
That's Mr. Juanito, mate. There he is.
Oh man, he's untouchable like Charlie Curnow. You're not wrong there. Anyway, it is what it is. That's just a bit of hobby drama. And if you got any info, feel free to email Darren Ravel. He's got all the goss. That breaks news like it's going out of fashion, apparently. So on that note, Sauce, good to have you back.
Thank you.
That's Pleasure it for the week. We've got some other content that Sauce and I were going to do some stuff, pre-recorded stuff, and we'll get it out to you. We've got some boxes to rip and all that type of jazz. So we'll try and get that sorted the next few weeks. We actually try and get some guests on as well. So stay tuned for that. On that note, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I am Dom with a great man, Sauce, and peace out.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.